I want to get right to it, folks, and I want to bring in our guest today. He's a friend of mine, a friend of the show, and he's the host of the Stephen Gardner Show, my buddy, Stephen Gardner. Steve, I appreciate you joining us. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving with the family.
Yeah, I hope you did too. It was always good to take time off and think about the things that you're grateful for, and America is one of those things that I'm very grateful for.
Yep, I'm with you on that. Definitely grateful for this great country, and I'm grateful for your friendship. You're a good friend, so I appreciate that. Let's turn to first, Stephen. YouGov poll, a new YouGov poll out that 90. Now, this is regardless of everything CNN is telling us or any other poll is telling us. This is YouGov, which lean a little bit left. 96% of MAGA voters approve of President Trump. Only 2% disapprove of him. Now, this is strange because you hear from all different outlets. Trump's doing bad. The poll numbers are in the tank. He's doing horrible. But then you see a left-leaning outlet like YouGov, who does polling, put out the 96%. That's a really big number, Stephen. I couldn't get 96% of a family of 6 people to agree on something.
Yeah, imagine that. He's definitely not going to be popular among Democrats. He does need to be careful on the independents. But when it comes to people that believe in making America great, they believe that Donald Trump was spared from assassination in Butler. They believe that he won the election with, the popular vote, with the states. So he's extremely popular. Would they like to see some arrests? Yes, they would like to. But I heard Bill O'Reilly the other day. He said, half of the people that voted for Trump said if he could just close the border, I would be happy. So You've got a large percentage of people that are like, hey, listen, whatever he does from here on out, he's already done the number one thing that I care about. Now, you and I that follow this, we're very happy with a lot of the things that he's doing. He's cleaning up the crime. He's doing his best to bring down the price of gas and food and insurance and medicine and get rid of Obamacare. Like, he's got his pulse on what's going on for the majority of America. So it doesn't surprise me that his most loyal base remains loyal.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's just strange for me to see. You got CNN who's like, oh, this guy's in the hole. The congressional ballot, generic ballot, has the Democrats up 14 seats for the midterm elections. Everything's going down the drain. And a part of me believes it because I think I have a pretty good temperature. I spent the last week and a half down in Florida for a bunch of meetings with various members of Congress. I had a very long dinner with Roger Stone, who was on the show just the other day as well, just to wrap my head around everything that's going on. And it's, everything's all over the place. Some people are saying one thing, some people are saying another thing. But I think overall, now is going to be the time to get that Donald Trump is going to get to the America First portion of what he promised us. He's gotten these wars taken care of. They're very close to a deal right now in Ukraine and Russia, which of course the mainstream media is trying to, upend the entire thing, that Steve Witkoff now is all of a sudden some Russian agent. It's like, damned if you do, Steve, and damned if you don't. If he creates peace between Ukraine and Russia, they're like, oh, well, he gave up way too much land in Ukraine that Russia took, that 90% of the people there speak Russian of Russian descent. Okay. If he doesn't get a deal done, they're like, oh, well, he's a liar. He said he was going to get a deal done within X amount of days, and he didn't get it done. Could the man ever catch a break?
No. Whatever he does, they immediately have to take the opposite position or a position of hate, right? Right now, everybody's posting the price of their turkey over on X. It's like, dude, my turkey was very reasonable. It was like $1.29 a pound. It was $20 or less. You've got all these Democrats that are posting like, I paid over $100 for my turkey. Like, where are you shopping? Whole Foods, Whole Wallet, So, I'm one of those people that I didn't like that he was getting so distracted by all of the foreign stuff, but I understand that he walked into a global chaos and he had to get that under wraps. But now it's time to focus on making America affordable, going after Obamacare, going after big insurance, making sure that he continues to get illegals out so that Americans can have those jobs. He's got to deal with the H-1B visa situation. So there's a lot of things domestically that he needs to do, but he's Donald Trump, and I trust that he and his team can tackle those.
Yeah, there's nobody I trust more than him. I would love to see more than anybody Elon Musk come back in the fold of things. I think when they were together, things were really streamlined as going well. And the more I look at it, I get less mad at Elon Musk for the things that he said and did, and more mad at the Washington D.C. insiders, because everything I was told was Elon blew a gasket when he started to realize that everything he was doing was being undermined by the deep state and undermined by the career bureaucrats. And this was people who told me this, who worked directly with him while he was doing Doge. So, I mean, it's like you and I, Stephen, if we come out here and put on a show every single day and our numbers are going down and people aren't tuning in, or people are tuning in less, we're going to get upset. Like what the hell's going on here? Like, why aren't you watching us? Why aren't you clicking the like, subscribe, and follow button right now on YouTube? And he grew frustrated. And I sort of understand where he's coming from.
So according to Elon Musk, when he went on Joe Rogan, he said that they literally had to scale back the fraud that they were getting rid of because the death threats were getting so out of control that they literally were like, okay, we're going to allow a certain amount of fraud so that we don't get killed, right? And then he starts talking about it's these deeply entrenched people, like Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi. They've made all of these deals that are draining America. Yeah. And then you have Tim Burchett. He went on the Benny Johnson show and he said Washington, D.C. literally ran him out of town. He was working until he was literally sick. 100 hours a week. His companies are falling apart. I mean, he's a patriotic hero, but at the end of the day, Washington, D.C. wants their fraud. They want their money laundering. And so to have him show up with the brains and the technology to root it out, they were like, nope, get this guy out of here.
Yeah, imagine that. And, speaking of waste and fraud and the economy right now, there's also another poll out that Bloomberg just did that I found was so very interesting. And I want to get your thoughts on this. Neither you or I are boomers, but I assume a lot of our audience is, which is a great thing because they're probably the greatest generation of folks out there. Only 11% of boomers said that leaving something for the kids is their top financial goal. Think about that. This is how bad things have gotten in this country with the cost of things.
Yeah. So when I did financial planning for 15 years, showing people how to prepare for retirement and how to get out of debt, I used to tell people, like, you want to leave enough for your kids to do something, but not enough for them to do nothing. Right. And I think a lot of boomers are realizing, like, wait a minute, if we leave everything behind, then we're robbing them of their growth, right? And so, yeah, like, everything's become so expensive that they're like, okay, I'm going to have to take care of myself. Like, the best thing I can do is not become a burden on my children. And then I'll leave some behind. I'm dealing with this with my own mother.
If you did that to me and I found out that my parents, and this is hypothetically, of course, if I found out you told my parents that, or someone who was leaving me something behind, you'd end up in a garbage pail somewhere, Steve.
Well, yeah,
you're absolutely right. With how I know so many people who have been left behind everything, and they're the biggest shit bums out there, Steven. Like, they're just lazy as heck. They don't want to work. They don't want to do anything. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, so you want to leave enough that they can do something, but not enough that they can do nothing. But like the baby boomer generation, they've got to take care of themselves, and they don't want to become a burden for their children. And we're about to see one of the greatest transfers of wealth in world history as seniors pass money to boomers, boomers pass money to Gen X to millennials. So there is going to be a lot of money passed, but yeah, you don't want to become a burden on your nation or on your children.
Yeah. Let's turn to some politics, Stephen. Just the other day, we watched seditious Senator Mark Kelly, Alyssa Slotkin come out and just say absolutely reprehensible things, encouraging the military to come out against President Trump. We watched on Wednesday evening, two members of the National Guard be shot at. Just absolutely reprehensible. Do you think, in your opinion, Stephen, do the Democrats have blood on their hands from the amount of seditious behavior that they're pushing, the hatred that they're pushing. I want to roll a clip of Alyssa Slotkin just days before these two members were shot. Take a listen to the words she says.
Look at these videos coming out of places like Chicago. It makes me incredibly nervous that we're about to see people in law enforcement, people in uniform military get nervous, get stressed, shoot at American civilians. It is a very, very stressful situation for these law enforcement and for the communities on the ground. So it was basically a warning to say, like, if you're asked to do something, particularly against American citizens.
This was just days before these two gentlemen were shot. They get shot, Stephen, and then, of course, we get the crocodile tears of statement. Senator Mark Kelly, the other seditious fella. This is horrific. I'm thinking of the families of these two National Guard members who lost their lives while serving the days before Thanksgiving. Thank you to the first responders who brought a suspect into custody. We found out after the fact that he didn't delete this tweet, but that they didn't succumb to their injuries, immediately after getting shot. So it's like you come out here, you spew all this hate on America, you rile up all these people. They do what you said you wanted them to do, and then you're like, well, there's no place for violence in America. Which one is it? Is there a place for violence like you want it to be, or is there no place for violence?
So, Slotkin was saying the National Guard is going to start firing on Americans, and now you find out that it's somebody firing on the National Guard. So, yeah, what they do is they make their base so crazy that somebody has got to do something, right? We need vigilante Batman justice. And then they say our words don't affect anybody. We can call people Nazis all day long, and they're not going to take justice into their own hands, but they do. And now you've got these heroes that have been, very, very badly injured. It's not good. So then I saw this. I saw people saying, well, if Donald Trump hadn't illegally invaded Washington, D.C. with the National Guard, they would have never been there. They would have been at home. No, these men and women are putting their lives on the line because they love their country. They signed up to serve, and they have made life so much better for people in Washington, D.C. This had nothing to do with Trump. This had to do with a rallied up crazy person who decided to use violence and a gun instead of words. It's just like Charlie Kirk, right? Instead of stepping up to the mic, they stepped up with a magazine, and boom, they start taking out our brave heroes.
Yeah, and they're wrong too, because it wasn't illegal. Imagine the Marxist Democrat member, the mayor of Washington, D.C. went forward with this. The police chief for the Washington, D.C. Metro Police okayed it, because they know that they're overwhelmed with the amount of homelessness and the amount of crime that runs through that. Imagine that people coming from different countries to see the nation's capital. I mean, the most beautiful place. I don't think you've ever been to Washington, D.C. I'm going to have to take you on a trip there one time. It's the most beautiful place in the world. You go during the spring, it's just gorgeous. But the place is just overrun with homelessness and crime. And it's like, this is the first image you want to make and see for tourists to see. I mean, the president of the United States, drives around these streets. It's like, what are you thinking? Like, what are we doing to this country right now?
I mean, here's a great analogy, right? Like, they're mad that Donald Trump got people that love America to donate money to build this ballroom, so that when foreign dignitaries come here to negotiate, or our allies come here to celebrate, we don't have to put up a tent and put them out in soggy grass, right? Like, Washington, D.C. houses it's the capital of our great nation, So same thing. Like, the very first thing you put forward is a homeless crisis, drug crisis, murder crisis. Like, he's cleaning up the city, and unfortunately, somebody decided, oh, I'm going to go ahead and take out these military people. And you know what's disgusting is they always try to add Trump's name to something, right? Like, National Guards shot near Trump's White House, in proximity to Trump's White House. Like, they have to combine his name with tragedy as often as they can.
It's so totally sick. It's been so long and so much news has happened. I totally forgot about the ballroom. I guess the Democrats want us to host like dignitaries at the Motel 6 or the La Quinta Inn, or, one of those beautiful hotels. I mean, They're just so ridiculously dumb, man. And I won't be surprised. Mark my words, because we're going to write down this episode here and mark the date. Mark my words. I bet you, Stephen, I know you're not a betting man, but I am. Any amount of money. We can bet dinner if you want. That once a Democrat comes back into power in the White House, there's going to be pressure on that person, whether it be man or woman, to take down that ballroom. What do you think?
Oh, I can't even bet against you because I agree with you. They will 100% try to tear that building down. Like, come on, just be smart. If you hate Trump that much, keep the building and change the name, right? But that's not how they see it. They are going just like when Egypt was conquered. They came in, they smashed all the stuff. When Rome was conquered, they came in, they smashed all the statues. As soon as they get back into power, they will destroy anything connected to Donald J. Trump.
These people, Stephen, I'm convinced of it. This is not metaphorical. It's not hyperbole either. I'm convinced some of these Democrats would cut off their nose to spite their face if they knew that it would do some kind of harm to Donald Trump. It's so sick and sad that this is the society we now live in. That it's literally, I don't know if you saw, but there was a doctor who went out on Fox News maybe like 2 weeks ago, and he was talking about Trump derangement syndrome. I just went for my, I'm a pilot, so I have my pilot's license, so every year I got to go do a medical, and I don't know my doctor's affiliation to political party, whatever. So I'm sitting there, we're joking around, and it's the same doctor that President Trump's pilots go to. So we're talking about it. So we start talking politics, and he starts talking about Trump derangement syndrome. This is a doctor, okay, former military guy, military doctor, now a regular civilian doctor, and he's telling me, he's like, this Trump derangement stuff, it's real. It's an actual sickness that people are succumbing to, and I'm like, Doc, like, you've been around. You know, he's an older man, 70s. Somewhere in there. I'm like, Doc, you've been around for a long time. I mean, you've been through wars. Like, did you ever see something so pathetic in your life where people are like being affected just by the sheer presence of a person? And he just looked at me and smiled. And I'm like, that's all I need to know, Doc.
Yeah, I mean, I'm no fan of Joe Biden, but I didn't have Biden derangement syndrome.
No,
like, I just wanted the guy to lose the election when it was time. And, I didn't wish turbo cancer on him. I didn't wish, achy bones or nothing. Like, dude, the guy, we're all going to die at some point. I didn't particularly care for him, but yeah, to have Biden derangement syndrome, like, these people are nuts. They literally hate Trump so much that they'll give up family, they'll give up jobs. It's very bizarre to me.
Yeah. The wishing death. I mean, it's crazy that some of these people do that. I believe in karma. You wish death upon somebody, you wish harm upon somebody, it comes right back to you. I'm a firm believer of it. I've seen it happen so many times that I think karma is a real, very, very real thing.
You know what else is gross, John, is Trump says, let's release the Epstein files. The Democrats have more to worry about than I do, right?
Yeah.
So it goes through the House, it quickly goes through the Senate, President Trump signs off on it, and then the documents start being released, and he's not in there.
Yeah.
And now they're like, oh crap, it's our own people, just like Trump said. And then now it's crickets. It's crickets. They literally used sexually abused women to try to humiliate Trump. Like, think about that. They withheld pay from the military in order to get Trump. They were going to starve children in order to get Trump. And they leveraged sexually abused women and girls to try to get Trump. And now that they don't give a crap about those women. Like, these people are sick in the head.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I've talked about the Epstein files so much. You have so much, and we've both been champions of releasing all the files. President Trump releases them. He actually took a step further. Him and Pam Bondi, and this hasn't been reported many places. Him and Pam Bondi, and I'm not defending Pam Bondi because I think her time is expired. We could talk about that another time. But what I believe with the Epstein files is I've always wanted them released, and I'm glad that they got released. But Trump and Bondi went a step further, and they went down to the courts in Florida and asked for that grand jury material that is still under seal to be released. The reason I believe, and I want to get your take on this, I don't want to take too much time on it because people are tired of it. The reason I believe President Trump said the Epstein files were a hoax, I don't think he meant a hoax where they didn't exist. I think President Trump meant a hoax in the sense and he's come out and he's clarified this in the sense that the Democrats are just using it for a leverage point. The Democrats will continue to use this for a leverage point, and they want to turn it into the Russia collusion hoax. And, we've kind of let them do that. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, completely hijacked the whole situation, and they kind of let them do that. But what I believe that what Donald Trump didn't want to happen was there are probably people in these Epstein files who did nothing wrong. By that, I mean people who are in his phone book, people who were at one point friends with him. I mean, somehow associated with him, who were in those files, who are going to be dragged into it when they did absolutely nothing wrong as it pertains to sex with underage children or any of the pedophilia things. That's what I truly believe he was protecting. I mean, you see Donald Trump cut himself off from him years before, it came out in the open sphere that this man was doing this. And the Democrats, I think they overplayed their hand, Stephen. Give me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there's probably a lot of names. Like, for example, suddenly we find out that Hakeem Jeffries was begging Epstein for money and meetings. We find out that he was secretly texting with Plaskett after giving her money. So, Epstein was a snake of a human being. He was a pervert. Trump needed to say, Jeffrey Epstein is a pervert who did horrible things, and trying to tie me to him is the hoax, right? He should have clarified that better. But yeah, we're going to see a lot of names, and a lot of them are going to be Democrat names because he was a Democrat. He donated mostly Democrat, and he ran in Democrat circles. So the names that are going to show up, but Trump golfs with people and he did business with people, and he used to be a Democrat. And I think he's going, wait a minute, I don't want to release hell on earth on somebody if Epstein just asked for a meeting to talk about something stupid, right? Like, it doesn't mean anybody whose name is in an email is suddenly doing child sacrifice rituals in the woods of California.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Speaking of even villains, let's talk a little bit about, we'll talk about Fani Willis, but first I want to talk about good old James Comey and Letitia James, who all of a sudden they think they're free birds that the Marxist judge down there repealed that case based on a procedural motion. Give me your thoughts on that. President Trump says he's coming all for them. Don't think you're safe. You guys are far from it.
Yeah, I had Alan Dershowitz on the other day, and he said these guys are way, way overplaying their hand. They're trying to get out in front of the judgment from the media and judgment in the court of public opinion, and make it look like, hey, this is a big win, and Donald Trump's a dummy who tried to get revenge, and it's now backfiring on him. The reality is that they're going to put in a new prosecutor, and they're going to immediately go after Letitia James, and then they're going to immediately go after James Comey. Now, the James Comey one, they've got to thread this needle correctly, or else we're going to lose out on the timing of it. But Letitia James, New York hasn't even brought the case, and it's way worse than Virginia. But I think that we're going to see her be the first one that goes down.
Speaking of these people, they need to go down. Fani Willis, a few months ago, was pulled off of the case of President Trump in Fulton County, Georgia. I mean, obvious ties. We've both spoken about this on our shows respectively, about the corruption between her and her boyfriend, who was paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, near millions of dollars, to look into President Trump and all that. And that case now completely dismissed. The RICO charges, everything, all of it completely dismissed. President Trump cleared 18 co-defendants. Dismissed. And what the district attorney pretty much said was, I don't think Georgia's the right venue for this case. And I think that's his way of saying his case was total BS from the beginning, thinking you're going to hit the former president with a RICO charge. It's like, what the heck are you doing?
Yeah. So I think Fani Willis was a tool of the Democrats. They put forward a black woman that you can't question. And I mean, the reality is she used this opportunity to get money to her secret boyfriend so that they could go boink in luxury vacations on taxpayer dollars. He was having secret meetings with the White House. They were colluding with the J6 committee. They were colluding with Jack Smith. And wouldn't you know it, that, the new red hat that Trump likes, Trump was right about everything. You give it enough time, he gets cleared on 99% of the bull crap that they bring against him. But here you go. You had the entire prosecution team, unlimited amounts of money to get him and the other 18. And then the new guy that gets put in charge is like, there's nothing here. There's literally nothing. We've got to throw this out and quit wasting time and money.
Yeah, it's what we've all known all along. What's funny is, not to go back to the Tish James thing, but we got these Democrats, and seemingly their favorite crime to do is mortgage fraud. I don't know if you've been following, but Eric Swalwell is running for governor, allegedly running for governor in California. But he's being told he can't because he's not actually a citizen of California, because on his home mortgage, it says that his primary residence is in Washington, D.C., or, the surrounding area of Virginia or Maryland. He's now suing Bill Pulte, the head of the FHFA, for exposing his records that are public, that his primary residence is not in California, where he says he represents those people. It's just crazy.
Well, I mean, he's just hoping it will get thrown to like Judge Boasberg or.
I don't know if you guessed it or you knew it, but you hit the nail on the head. Judge Boasberg.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Judge Boasberg's got the case, Stephen.
Oh my gosh. Are you serious? Oh, okay. Well, there you go. The guy goes, you know what? I'm going to roll the dice in this particular district, and I'll bet you it ends up in the hands of someone who's donated to Democrats, someone who has Trump derangement syndrome from the bench, that can't separate being a lawyer from being an activist. And wouldn't you know it, he gets another one. I mean, Judge Boasberg is the luckiest guy on planet Earth. Anything that has to do with Donald Trump or Democrat corruption suddenly ends up on his desk. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, that man should go to the casino or, go play the Mega Millions, or whatever that thing's called. Because you're right. It's extremely lucky. I mean, he gets all his frustration out. He doesn't even need to go to like a shrink or anything, because his frustration is like aired out just when he's assigned any sort of case that has to do with Donald Trump or anyone associated with Donald Trump. It's so corrupt. Do you think, before we wrap up, I want to get your sense. Can you think we could clean up this judiciary in D.C.? How do we do it? It's just so rancid and corrupt that sometimes I lose hope.
So it's not going to happen, because the GOP has no balls to do anything, and the Democrats, they're not going to get rid of their golden parachute. You think that they're going to go cut up their golden parachute? They literally get away with everything, and then the GOP is like, "Oh, we should raise money off of this, and because our people are mad." No, we want you to go do something. Yeah. It's the reason that we put you into office. But these guys, they're lacking a spine. This guy should have been impeached already, or at least demoted, just put back into being a regular trashy lawyer instead of a revered judge on the bench. Yeah, I can't believe that. I was literally making a joke because Boasberg's name was the one that I remember. And wouldn't you know it, they rolled the dice and it ended up landing at his feet.
I mean, you had to, I'm not trying to take away from you, all right? Because you hit the nail on the head. But to be honest, you only had like 4 or 5 judges. You had like Judge Tanya Chuck,
okay,
or whatever that. But you're right. He's the name that I want to remember too. But it's just so damn corrupt, man. It's so sad to see that this is America. And you look down at Brazil, and Jair Bolsonaro just sentenced to 27 years in jail. And I hope there's a way Donald Trump can go out there and save him, because that's exactly what they wanted to do to Donald Trump. And the things that are happening right now in South America and Venezuela, I think the days of some of the people in Venezuela are greatly numbered, maybe even coming to an end very soon. But the kind of crap that you see, man, in these places, it's like, this was almost America, 27 years in jail for Bolsonaro, a few years less than they wanted to give Donald Trump at 700 years. But it's so sad, man. And you got kids you're raising in this country. I unfortunately don't have any kids yet. It's sad, man. I question all the time, is it responsible to bring kids into the world right now? And if I told you an answer, I'd be lying to you. I don't know. It's crazy the country, the route this country's taken on. You get the last word here, my friend.
Well, I love this country, and if I was able, I would bring more children into the world right now, because we're focused on God and country and good values. Show me somebody, and what do I care? I don't care about the color of their skin. I don't care about their religion. What are your values? And there's a lot of really great American values. And so I recommend having some kids. I've got 3. I love them to death, and I love this country.
Oh, I'm not recommending against it. I think it's an amazing thing. If you're blessed to be able to have kids, or you can have kids, 100%. I'm just saying it on the sheer fact of, with how crazy this country has gone. It's like, bringing kids into this world right now, thinking about it, it's like they have such an uphill battle, especially if they're males, and especially if they're white. It's just the way it is. And speaking the truth sucks. But Stephen Gardner, the host of the Stephen Gardner Show, folks, you can catch him each and every day, like 16 or 17 times a day. If you go to his YouTube channel, he's the hardest working man I know in this business, and I know a lot of people. But you can catch him each and every day. Rumble at the Stephen Gardner, or over on YouTube at the Stephen Gardner Show. He puts on a terrific show. Short form stuff, long form stuff, really, really terrific content that I encourage you all to go see and check out each and every day. Stephen Gardner, we'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Thank you.